This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing. Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
You know where I like shopping, Kinger?
I think probably Cub.
I like to shop at Cub because I like to shop happy. And, dude, you walk down the aisles right now, it's hard not to be happy. Like, favorite blueberry or favorite berry at the house, which actually is a good conversation. Like, what's the best berry?
What's the best berry?
Me, it's raspberry. At the house, it's the blueberry that is the most coveted. Okay. But I'm a raspberry guy. Problem is they you know, you don't get very many in the pack. It goes away. But anyways, blueberries right now, 70% off, right? Made good granola bars. Those are special at our house too. Nut free, so safe for everybody. We have a tree nut allergy at our house. Those are 50% off. Not only that, they've got all kinds of other things. Let's say you need grain-free, dairy-free dog food. You've got Supreme Source salmon meal and sweet potato recipe. Dude, that's on sale right now. Again, you and I like to talk about this. The weather's changing. We're wearing shorts. They've got a great grill section back there. You've got brats, you've got burgers, pub burgers, doesn't matter. Grab them, throw them on the grill, have yourself a nice night. They've got everything you need. When I go there, I'm happy, shop Cub.
That was so well done. Such good prep on your part. Now that you're not on FanDuel, like, you attacked that Cub read like you had done the pregame notes. That was great. One thing you should add to your shopping list is there's a thing called Riga Sprats in oil, which is apparently a tin of sardines from Russia. This is what Kirill had on his Center Island in a recent interview. A buddy just sent this to me, and he said, yeah, so he's just popping sardines like I pop Zins out of a little container like this. So maybe getting ready for the next 48 hours. I'm sure they have sardines at Cub. In July, Karts, I know you're a fan of the 3M Open. I've seen you making content there for years. What a great way to spend a beautiful weekend, even Thursday, Friday, maybe the practice rounds. July 23rd to the 26th. I snuck into the King's Corner last year. Have you been in this suite, Karts?
No.
It is.
Because my name's not El Rey.
It's rarefied air if you can get in there. I'm telling you, kids get in for free. Go to 3mopen.com. Get your tickets now. We'll be out there. It's not going to be Wild on 7th. It's going to be Wild on the 7th. We'll be posted up there, making friends, giving out hugs, all the things. But Scotty Scheffler, best player in the world, sunny day, family deal, a day with the girls, a day with the guys, couples, whatever. Go out and see the 3M Open. It's going to be a time.
And welcome back to Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast, brought to you by our friends at Pilot Games. Get outside, grab a tablet from your local establishment. You can win some money. Your community can win some money. Everybody wins, Kinger.
So much winning. So
much winning. Unfortunate part is the winning we wanted to occur didn't last night. Everything was set up, I think, on Saturday for the Wild to do well. They're down 2-0. There's going to be some desperation, home ice advantage. That felt real. It was a Saturday night. It was 60 to 70 degrees out, watch party, all kinds of hype. The game starts. That was electric, and then it was just boom, off. Like, the story was almost written for Saturday's game before the puck was dropped. Monday's game was always going to be harder, don't you think? It didn't have all the setup. Saturday was emotional. Can you bounce back and put the same effort on the ice and the same level of desperation? Because it took that highest degree of desperation in Game 3 to beat Colorado. The Wild executed, and they wanted it more. You could tell, you could see it. And with it, the Wild, they were able to skate away with the win and draw within one game in the series. But I think that, it actually, to some degree, I think benefited Colorado being on the road here. So Minnesota at home wins that emotional game. It's exciting. They've got Sunday off, reload to a Monday game. Colorado, it was more business-like. This was a business trip, and they had one more piece of business to do. That's kind of what it felt like, and they were able to take care of business in Game 4. It's interesting listening to some of the comments coming out of the locker room, too, because they just Wild kind of felt like they gave it away a little bit and that they just didn't do what they needed to do. And those are the toughest, like, pills to swallow, I think.
Yeah, it was tough. Believe it or not, I watched one, maybe two little pieces of an NBA game recently with the Timberwolves. And Wemby got ejected from a game, their big 7'6" center. And I remember thinking, God, if the Timberwolves don't win this game, they're in real trouble. And last night had a feeling where, McKinnon takes the puck off the schnoz. He's not right. We're not playing well for stretches, but we're right in it, right, Cart? So it had that feeling of like, man, if you can find a way, Tarasenko late gets one more or something, and you sneak out of St. Paul with that victory after kind of getting outplayed and not playing the game that Hines wants, which we'll get into. It was a real bummer. I agree with you. The two home games they feel like two siblings, don't they? And one of them gets we got a watch party, we're outside, it's sad, And then this one over here was like Jan Brady, right? The Monday night game kind of going, but I'm just as important. And it was tough. But I want to dig into the post game. So as you know, I'm deep into the post game pressers. I'm fascinated by the role a reporter has to play, asking these horrible questions to these guys right after they come out of battle. But Hines was basically like, the team didn't play the way we told them they had to play. And it wasn't like he was throwing them under the bus, but it was very much like, yeah, this is what you get if you want to play this east-west. These are the words you heard from the interviews. Soft, fancy, or exciting. Even Wallstead said, it seemed like we try to make exciting play, right? And even the big guys, the meat guys, were kind of saying, Game 3, we threw pucks in, we forechecked, we got it behind their D, and we win. So I couldn't help but notice that that is not the style of hockey that will beat the Colorado Avalanche. That was loud and clear from Hines. It seemed like every player knew it. Even guys like Matt Boldy, who didn't feel like he played well, he's saying the same thing. Like, this is not the recipe
for them against Colorado.
Correct.
Not the recipe. Yeah, McCarron mentioned too, like, too many turnovers at the blue lines, both blue lines. And then not hard enough, not direct enough. So I think on a couple Colorado goals, the Wild had opportunities to make a hard play and get the puck out of the zone. Didn't execute there. And then shortly after that, Colorado puts the puck in the back of the net. And so this series has been interesting because it has been star-studded. I think Game 3, Hughes, Faber, Kaprizov, they all kind of popped. And, it's been McKinnon, Makar, and Natchez, the big guys for Colorado too. But the series seems like it's being decided in a different spot. And that spot is in your bottom six a little bit. And with your goaltending, I think the Wild kind of had an opportunity and really missed on it with Blackwood in the cage. So Colorado, similar, they have a 1A, 1B goaltender situation, and it was Blackwood's net. For those of you that haven't been following along, we've talked about this. Blackwood's net likely on paper to start the season. He went in hurt, Wedgwood started, and he was good. Blackwood came back 10 games into the season, somewhere around there, and he was good, okay to good, but he could never pull away, and eventually kind of like surrendered the job to Wedgwood down the stretch, and Wedgwood took it into the playoffs, played all the games, and now like Colorado still has that voice And Bednar has that voice in the back of his head. It's like, you've got Blackwood. You got to get Blackwood in. You got to get Blackwood in. And so they get him in, and he's been off for 25 days. Similar situation to what Gus was in. But I just don't think that the Wild, and that's where I think they could leave that game frustrated. They had an opportunity to really get, to Blackwood, because really put some pressure on the coach, on their goaltending, on the crease, and they kind of let them off the hook by not playing their game.
You're absolutely right. They blinked. They're putting in Manson, right?
Yeah, they got cut and they bled. Like, you saw that they can bleed.
Yeah. That's what Rocky IV. And they put in Manson. He takes the dumb penalty. They switch their goaltender. We're like, oh man, like they know they're in a series here, and it was kind of sitting there, and it was very clear Hines was, it's like when your dad says to you, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed, which was always so much worse. So much worse. And that was his tone at the presser. I think Joe asked the first question maybe of Hines, who's joining us. I would say Kevin Gorg, healthy scratch, folks. I know everybody loves our WWE 21. He did leave a message for us, okay? I think this is verbatim. He said, prior commitment, but you need to know Jesper Wallstedt is a superstar in this league wherever he goes. And he said, Minnesota Wild fans, stay in the fight. That's Kevin Gorg, 21, as he jumps off the top ropes. But Radio Joe, we've just started. All we've been talking about is the post game. A lot of players saying they didn't play the right style of hockey. They got trapped in this kind of fancy turnover, east-west, not hard enough, not disciplined enough. But what did you see, and some initial observations from Radio Joe?
Always a pleasure, fellas. Appreciate you. I think the word comes to mind is disappointing, but you got to credit the Avalanche. Like I think I said this after Game 3 with you guys. Like, the Wild definitely got Colorado's attention with how hard they played in Game 3, the dominance of their performance, top to bottom of the lineup. And you knew the Avs were going to respond. I didn't think the Wild played a terrible game by any stretch. What's kind of disappointing for me, or frustrating, is that, that game's tied at 2 with 9 minutes left, And so that's the disappointing part of it all, is like, if you put together a back half of a third period that resembles your game, maybe this series is tied. They just didn't do it. Too much time in the defensive zone, too many turnovers, just missed opportunities, I think I'd say, ultimately for Minnesota. So definitely frustrating and disappointing. Backs to the wall now. I expect this team to come out fighting in Denver Wednesday night. And, you just got to take it one game at a time. That's how this team's always approached things this year. So I think their mindset will be right. I think they'll be frustrated. And I think what I expect to see is a very desperate effort from this hockey team on Wednesday.
Well, and that's what's disappointing, is this time of year you need consistent desperation, and it keeps coming up. They had it Game 3, and I think you knew they got Colorado's attention, and you had to think that Colorado was going to tighten up and do something a little bit different to try to respond, because they did outcompete it. And Bednar said he didn't dislike the details of his team's game in Game 3, but he didn't like the determination. He felt that they got outcompeted. And so whenever a coach says that, if you got a good team, if you've got a veteran team,
they heard it.
They're going to hear it, and they're going to respond to it. So you have to know, if you're in Minnesota, like, okay, we just fired a bullet. Now we've got to fire like a silver tipped or whatever that is, like bullet on top of this one. Like it has to be even better than Game 3 was. And Joe, we talked about this just a minute ago, that everything was kind of set up Game 3 for the Wild with the energy in the town. It was a Saturday. It was a late game. It was the pre-party was there, the start to it. They, the physicality, and then they just went for it. It was always going to be harder to manufacture in Game 4 on a Monday, different spot. And so it almost was like they needed to just accept the fact they had to double down kind of on this desperation. And I think Hines that's why he kind of, like, the body language says, like, I love these guys, just a little disappointed that this one got away, because now, and he'll never admit this, but it does become tough. You look at it, you've got to beat them 3 in a row. And the mentality is, yes, we've got to win one game. Matt Boldy said that. The reality is we've got to go to Colorado, win one game. And that group, that core is understood that. They've learned that lesson in the playoffs on how to singularly focus on a game. So they're going to do that. I'm going to finish one more point before we move on, because I'd said what the series has come down to is the studs have kind of done their thing a couple of times, the star-studded series, but it's the bottom six that are exchanging blows right now in terms of which one's going to support the top guys in helping the club win the game. And this game, it was the forecheck guys that gave the Wild a chance. It was Sturm. I think the Foligno's line was out there for the first goal scored. And then actually, this is an interesting stat. I'll pull it up. We looked at slot shots on net. So, courtesy of Sport Logique, slot shots on net. Who do you think led for Minnesota?
Sturm.
Sturm was tied for the lead in slot shots on net.
Awesome.
Number 2, Michael McCarron. Number 3, Danila Yurov.
Yep.
For slot shots on net. Now let's go to Colorado. Colorado's slot shots on
Parker
net.
Kelly, probably.
It was Ross Colton, Valerie Nichushkin, and Nazem Kadri. So the game very much did have a chess match feel at 5-on-5, but it was the bottom six guys that were able to kind of find room in the scoring areas. They still do it different ways. Now, we wanted 32 hits. That's what we said game 3. Remember that? You I need over under 32 hits. While didn't get to 32 hits, they actually got out hit in game 4.
Which I think can never happen. And I don't understand. If you're going to load up 6 heavies on your bottom and they're going to run with burners, I just don't even understand. That shows you right there. As Hines said, you're not getting pucks behind guys. You're not playing into your forecheck. You're stopping at both blue lines and making turnovers. We have to out-hit Colorado, if nothing else. That's just that's non-negotiable.
I agree, and I think that's where Hines. We'll see DJ Hines. I don't know if you can do this because it becomes much deeper than just making a roster move or a lineup move. But DJ Hines, I think, probably in a game like that, it's tight. So I'm not being critical. It was a tie game in the third period. And Joe, you're absolutely right. Wild Pop won. This is a much different conversation. But if you don't like the game that's being played by some of the guys, and you look at the data or you look at the tape and it's saying some other guys are providing something, you might have to put a Michael McCarron in between a Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Zuccarello, or you might have to do something where you shake it up. Maybe you give McCarron to Boldy, or you just say, hey, let's let the grind guys get a little bit more ice right now and we'll see what happens, right? And if they're not getting to the numbers that they need to. But the Wild saw it, and hits are they're not directly correlated to winning or even success on a forecheck, but it's just a simple way to say they were physically engaged and they were committed to a simple brand of hockey that separates D from puck, gets him to turn. And this is a long filibuster, but I'll continue on. Look at the play that McCarron almost changed this game and put it in the Wild's hand because he finished a hit on Manson. He finishes the hit on Manson. Manson comes into the series. He hears the narrative that Minnesota's more physical. They ran around. They took control of the series. They were able to dictate terms in game 3. And his response right away was to try to be something, try to be a factor. And he ends up taking a double minor. Could have been a major penalty. Wild scoring that power play, right? So I think they have to look at that play. If I'm coaching, I show that play. And I say, this is what you get when you play hard, and then show the power play goal. And all of a sudden you say, look at what happens when we don't. It just takes a hit. It got their attention. It frustrated them. You have to stick with it. So that's my filibuster on that. But it was surprising that the physicality and the desperation wasn't present in that moment.
I want to do a little. I think we got to get the fan base sort of pissed off. I think the low point for me last night when Colorado scored the go-ahead goal, they did this pan of the fans, and everyone had their arms crossed and they were shaking their heads sitting down. I mean, it was now they rallied and they got going after that, but I can't watch hockey on ESPN. I just got to say it is so bad. They missed a goal. They're interviewing Quinn Hughes about our power play, and while they're interviewing him, split screen, Colorado scores on their power play. So we're not even we're on a PK. It is horrendous. They come back from broadcast and they're 10 seconds into the game. They're just running. The game's just playing and they come in late. I can't stand the in-between stuff. I like Eric Johnson. But the camera angle behind the net, like, I'm so used to FanDuel. I know there's some portion of our listeners that are happy I'm saying this because it is atrocious. It is a terrible product. I just hope TNT has the next game. This is just one of the things I'm going to be pissed off about this morning because I think we got to get back into being pissed off. The other thing is every period break, if it's a Minnesota Wild game, guess what we're going to do? We're going to get out the laser pointer and do a TED Talk on the things that suck about the Minnesota Wild and in video packs for PK Subban. Seriously, just get out of here. And your announcers suck. It is awful. The fact that ESPN is this bad at hockey is mind-boggling to me. I don't know what you do with that segment. I don't know.
Do you remember back in the day how good ESPN was for hockey?
Wednesday night hockey, whatever that was.
Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, the late night show back in the day.
I mean, I worshiped them, but I don't know what this is. Thank God they found Eric Johnson, but I mean, I'm sorry. It makes a big difference for me if TNT gets the next game. I can't even do it.
I think they're alternating games in this series, so I think you'll get your wish, Kinger.
Thank God. Give it to Marsha Brady, not Jan. I'm tired of that crap. Sorry, I got off tilt there, but it just was not. It was not good. Can we talk about one?
How did you guys feel?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, how did you guys feel after the first period? You know, the Wild are up 1-0 and the press box just chopping it up with the locals. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, just get one more. Like if the Wild could have extended that lead to 2-0, I really think you get in Colorado's head a little bit. Maybe they start pressing. Maybe they make a mistake or two. Maybe they start turning the puck over. And then Minnesota just didn't get anything going to start the second period. So how did you guys feel after the first, and how do you digest the second, where clearly the shots were, for a large part, heavily in favor of the Avs?
The way I look at the first is it felt like, and Heinz has mentioned this before, it's a weird phenomenon. Sometimes when we should actually dig up this stat, but the team that has scored first in Wild games this playoff has won like an astounding amount of time. But I felt like they got that first goal and they were doing things kind of the right way a little bit, and then it went away. And I think at that point in time, shots were like 7-4 when Wild got that power play. So Colorado kind of was skating, but I think you knew and you could be able to anticipate Colorado kind of coming with a push a little bit and trying to simplify their game. They did. But I think the Wild had an opportunity there. You're absolutely right. They're up 1-0. They get their power play goal. To be able to do something and make some noise, but didn't. And with that, I think they got away from their game a little bit. Like, you score that early goal, you think, okay, we've got the lead. Now we can just kind of settle in and play hockey. Like, you lose a level of desperation. I think that probably occurred after that first 20.
Yeah, and only 4 shots in the first. I mean, the two stats, I know it's true, hits don't directly correlate to wins all the time, but when you're out hit and you're outshot 34-21 and you only had 4 shots in the first period, that's indicative that you're playing a style of hockey which does not resemble Saturday night's game. Right? So I want to get into one. This is the first time ever I've watched a game where I felt like we are overplaying Quinn and Brock. I've actually never seen Quinn. It was almost like ESPN was saying this. I don't know if it's true. They were saying he was trying to get off at one point. The bench wasn't ready for him. He's screaming at the bench. He comes on late for a shift. It looked like we were playing too hard with our favorite toys, and some of their eyes were popping out last night. I mean, it was the first time I've seen a little fatigue on that pair where it was just, I mean, what did Quinn play? 34 minutes? Is that an accurate stat? How many? I have to pull up the box score, but
It was 29-19 for Faber in regulation, and Quinn Hughes played 34-13.
I mean, that is insane. And I know you got to play them to win, and he made the amazing backhand pass, but there was something about it late in that game where they were so stretched, right? You saw so many situations where Quinn was having like, oh my God, I got to go get this puck now. A guy's chasing me down.
Did you see the one where the puck was in the corner and somebody was chasing him down and he just left the puck in the corner?
And went around him.
And this is Jack Drury. And Jack Drury just came and hit Quinn anyways. Quinn never actually even touched the puck, and the puck was in there. Drury could have had it. And he just was like, I don't want the puck. I'm trying to hit Quinn Hughes right now.
Well, and that book is out trying to get 43, but
You know what else they did? So if I'm on Quinn Hughes real quick, what Colorado has adjusted to, I think, and Quinn's move now is kind of that escape at the blue line. They're not getting beat by it. Quinn's like escaping at the blue, and then he doesn't have the ice to kind of go downhill anymore. He did it back to the middle on the backhand play. So, and I think that's what they're willing to do, is let him spin out and make a play on his backhand, trying to take that forehand away so he can't like get going on the forehand to be able to find a play. But I think Colorado defended Quinn Hughes better. He was able to make a play on that backhand. I got one more point on that backhand. That backhand, like that pass from where he made, great pass.
Stupid.
It was stupid. It was great.
Yeah.
Love it. But that's a moment where you're like, how can Blackwood not get to his post there? I think if you look at a goaltender, if you ask a goaltender, a backhanded pass that doesn't have, like Quinn Hughes, usually when he passes the puck, it is snapped like forehand, 1,000 miles an hour, right on the money. This one was backhand without the pace. So if you're able to make a backhand pass from high up in the zone down that low for a one-timer and not get back to your post in time, like Blackwood's comments were not perfect. That's it. That wasn't good. Like I'm looking at that and be like, guys, we don't have to be perfect to beat this guy tonight. Like look at that. That's a backhand pass from high up in the zone, and he wasn't able to get to his post. Like simplify, just shoot the puck at him. He's trying to figure the game and the pace out right now.
he doesn't exude confidence.
No.
Like he's a big guy, and when they would zoom in on his eyes and the helmet, he just kind of looked like, whoa, man.
Yeah, and he's the one that had the quote, haven't played in 25 days. He's got the ticker going. Like he's counting, I haven't played in 25 days. I hope I'm good.
4 shots.
Yeah.
First period.
4 shots.
4 shots. Come on now.
He made some big saves, though.
He did. The one I like, so this playoff too, there's been a couple of themes that have popped back up. Post play from a goaltender was present in the Dallas series, if you remember. One went off the end wall. I think it was Johnston's, like in game 2 in Dallas. Johnston went off the end wall.
First goal of the game.
Yeah, and that got Dallas going in that game. And then there was one against
the Wild almost had one to tie it in the third.
That's the one.
And I thought Blackwood did a good job getting to his post there. That came off the end boards and nearly was a carbon copy of like the goal Johnson
He
scored.
kicked it. He actually moved his leg.
It was like a ninja kick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like those reels where you see like somebody kick a water bottle from behind their head kind of thing or something. But yeah, so that one, that was like a good save. But also bank that play, because I think on home ice, Brock Faber and company have been trying to use that play, and it almost was successful. But it was great athleticism there from Blackwood on that one. Post play was solid on that one. But Wild were able to capitalize on that against Ottinger too. So it's been interesting how post play has kind of showed up a bunch in this series, or actually in this playoff altogether. But Joe,
goalies without their sticks.
Yeah. Well,
how many times has a goalie lost their stick in these playoffs? It feels like it just in the Wild games. Blackwood made 2 saves on Sturm without his stick, earlier in the third period.
I think the analyst's job is how and why. If you were to collect data and just do like a heat map of where goals are scored during the regular season, it would be in the slot. And let's just say it would be a couple of feet from outside the crease. And I've said this on the podcast before. If you do a heat map of where goals are scored in the playoffs, it's so much closer to the net. And traffic has to be so much closer. So goaltenders are like out pushing for their space, and guys are flying through, and forwards are, on the offensive side kind of maintaining positioning outside the crease so that they're not touching the goaltender, but that's putting the D right on top of the goaltender. And a lot of times it's friendly fire that's taking that goaltender stick away too. But I think it's all entirely just pressure and where goals are scored. So goaltenders are now like having way more traffic flying out in front of them. So that would be the how, why there. We do have to talk about the butt end because that was and is an interesting talker, because a 5-minute major, you can get as many, you can score as many goals as you can, in that you still stay on the power play. And it took the Wild 3 minutes to get a power play goal, but they get one. Now they'd still have 2 more minutes on the power with the big guys coming out if that is a 5-minute major. Joe, watching that live, did you feel that merited? Now, I was in the building, but I wasn't paying attention. Long review, and they came out with a double minor for butt ending, which confused people. Did you think it merited more than a double minor?
So live, I wasn't sure what happened. I knew McCarron got up bothered by something. The first replay I got, I saw the butt end, said it right away on the air. I didn't know there was a double minor for butt ending, and if you check Russo's tweets from, Michael Russo from The Athletic, for those living under a rock. He texted with Dave Jackson, the referee, former referee, works for ESPN. He's got his number, so he texted him. And Dave Jackson said there is an attempt to butt end double minor. So that would be, can't tell if the stick really hit him, but the attempt was there. Not super deliberate to like injure a guy, but again, the attempt. So that's a double minor. And I think then Russo followed up with a tweet. It's only the 4th time that's been called in like 20 some years across the NHL. I think I read that right. I mean, I'll look while you guys are filibustering on it when I stop talking here, but like that. So again, it doesn't happen a lot that you get the double minor for butt ending. Look, it's better than missing it altogether. We've seen slew foots missed, cross checks to the heads missed, attempted spears on Kaprizov missed in this series. So I'm glad they talked about it. They called something, and I'm glad the Wild at least reaped the benefits of one power play goal. I don't think today I'm sitting here crying, going, oh my gosh, should have been a major, kick him out of the game. But if it was a major and he got kicked out of the game, it certainly turns that game upside down. Because remember, Jack Ashan, Minnesota native, St. Cloud State kid, is in his Stanley Cup playoff debut. And if 12 minutes into that hockey game or whatever it was, less than that, Josh Manson is gone for the game. Now you're down to 5D, and one of them's a kid who has 22 games of regular season experience. So, and no playoff experience.
Malinsky was hurt, so new guy comes in. So now you'd have a blue line that you were comfortable with.
And Blankenberg. Yeah. Blankenberg wasn't in.
Yep. So I think that's a really good point. I tend to agree. I'm not sitting here saying that it maybe should have been a major. I thought watching it live that he deserved a penalty. He deserved more than a minor penalty. I don't think it merited a major. But the rule's the rule. This is where I could be exposed as being wrong here. A butt end to me is where you almost have 2 hands on your stick and you choke up on it and you try to butt end him with that. This one was like a one hand kind of thing. Still, and to the head, so it kind of egregious. I thought what they were going to call was a high sticking major with blood. So I thought that was going to be the double minor, stick to the face more than a butt end. But I thought that they were going to try to find a way to get him 4, but not give him the 5-minute major. I didn't think about the kicking him out part about it. I just thought, like, if you're a Wild fan and that was a Wild player that did that and they gave a 5-minute major, like, that's a big penalty, and but so I'm kind of caught in the middle on this one. Like, could have seen it go that way, but also thought they kind of got it right with a double minor.
Since 2000, that's only the 4th time, regular season and playoffs, that a double minor for butt ending has been called.
Yeah, I didn't know
4 times in 26 years.
I didn't know it. I was in the same camp as McCarron when his post game, he said, I thought if you call butt end, it's only a major penalty. I was under the same thought. I had no idea that there was an attempt to butt end, and that's a double minor. I had no idea on that one, so shame on me. But
I think devil's advocate, it is an extremely dirty play that's rarely ever used, right? So it's like an eye gouge or something, right? So just for that alone, you could get into a 5-minute zone. The other thing that I think hurt McCarron,
and where he got him, like in the head.
And the other thing that hurts McCarron he gets up right away and he's going crazy. If he just lays on the ice holding his head, just lays there for a minute, you telling me that's not a 5-minute major? So much of this is like,
I think it's possible if he didn't act that way, though, they wouldn't have called anything.
Because they weren't going to call it.
They weren't going to call anything. So I think actually I agree with you. I think that Tyler Myers in the Dallas series gets a 5-minute major if Matt Zuccarello lays on the ice. So I get what you're saying.
You're probably right.
But we also love that this isn't soccer. So we're not going to encourage that behavior, okay? But you're right. I think that it has this specific scenario. If he's down and hurt and covering the face a little bit, like Ryan Hartman like kind of, then it's for sure a 5-minute
because he kind of throws his head back,
yeah,
which I think gave him the attempt to butt end. They were almost like it wasn't like embellishment, but it was like how much did he really get him is what I guess they made the final difference on 4-5. I will say all time big sexy moment though. Just the one thing ESPN did give me last night was when they interview him and he just keeps double downing on it. Well, what did you see happen there? And usually a player's like, two teams playing hard. He's like, well, Manson's a dirty player. Everybody knows this. No one respects him in the whole league. And I'm glad he's still in the game. I mean, just awesome. Post-game, that's what he's known for. He's not well-liked. He's not respected. He's a dirty player. I mean, it's just awesome. Like, those are the guys you want in the playoffs. Like, if I'm sure the fan base has fallen in love with Big Sexy. You know what that illustrates to me is that McCarron's actually tough. Oh,
because to have comments like that, somebody's coming at you and you're like,
good.
Yes, I'm right here.
The store's open.
That's what that comment was. It was, I'm right here. I'll say what I think and I'm right here.
And then the internet trolls are all over McCarron. I saw some stuff one time in the minors. He got he got beat up in a fight. And at the end of the fight, he headbutted the guy. And then people are tweeting the picture of him faking the slash from Zuccarello. Like right away, you get people that are like, well, I got to jump into this fight. No pun intended. And just start sewering McCarron. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, people have nothing better to do with their time. Like he's in the heat of the moment. He gets butt ended. He chirps the guy. We want hockey players to have personality. That's personality, right? He calls Josh Manson on the carpet. It's great for the rivalry, great for the rest of this series. And then right away on Twitter, that's really the only platform I'm on. You get all these like Twitter tough guys and Twitter trolls coming out of the woodwork, just trying to, take a shot at McCarron or question his toughness or that he embellishes. And I'm like, dude, like, get a life. All of you just get a life. Let these guys handle it on the ice. McCarron wants to call him out. Like you said, he'll be there to answer the bell. Guaranteed.
I don't mind the Twitter trolls going after him too, because I think what it illustrates is that you struck a chord, and if somebody's coming at you, like McCarron's purpose there isn't like, I've been perfect. He's not saying I'm a saint.
Yeah.
He's saying this guy's not. And when somebody's got to come at you after that, you're like,
I guess I'm just biased because I like the guy. Like Kinger said, in the few months he's been around, like he's done everything the Wild could have asked for and more. Seems like a stand-up dude. He's a good interview.
He's a good interview, and he's not afraid to say like what he actually thinks. When we had him on the podcast here, I walked away from that interview being like, this guy's, he's kind of an open book. He'll be like,
I wasn't very good when I got into the league. That's why I went down. I mean, he was just great. I think Sturm's comments post game gave me the most relief. Very German, right? He said it's actually beautiful that our backs are against the wall. He goes, right now, all I got to focus on is the next 48 hours. I decide if this keeps going, and if we win, then it's the next 48 hours. He just said, it is so simple right now. You got one shot. And vomit on the sweater. You got one shot, and let's see what happens. And it's not complicated. You either go to Colorado and come home, or you don't.
Yeah.
How hard is it, Karts, now going to the altitude, quick turnaround? The Avs they don't want to come back to Minnesota. I always look at it in these situations as no matter what happens in Game 5, the Wild are flying back to Minnesota. You might as well bring the Avs with you. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how I look at it. How hard is it, though, to go to Denver, guys that play 34 minutes, 28 minutes. Today's a day off, but you're traveling, the altitude. Like, is it harder for Minnesota in this spot than, say, going to St. Louis for a game?
Yeah, good question. I don't think so. I never noticed the altitude. But full disclosure, I didn't play 30
you
minutes
playing
a night.
28 minutes a night.
What?
I didn't play 30 a night. So it really wasn't a factor.
But the bag skates. How about the bag skates in Denver?
Yeah, there you go. The pigeon skates the following day when only we had to do it.
Cherry Creek.
Yeah, those are always hard. It might be a factor. I think it would be a minimal one. I don't think that's something like that Sturm will be focused on. I like Sturm too, and he's impressed me because his path is he's won 2 Stanley Cups, and he's been a guy that like kind of has had to spot in to help some of those teams win those. Like hasn't been like a guy that's been carrying the torch or a staple in the lineup. He was that way to start this playoff run, but he's just like level-headed, and you can tell that he's got some experience because he can play. Like, remember when he came into the games in the Dallas series and he just made some composed plays, and you're like, dang, that was nice seeing him out there make those plays. And then while in game 4, like they need some big plays, and who's delivering? It's Nico Sturm. And then post game, who's delivering a great message? It's Nico Sturm. Like, he's got great experience. It's a great story. Like, I kind of feel like he's going to continue to have his moment. So I think over the next 48 hours, that mentality is going to pay off for him. Like, I don't know what Prize Picks has for Nico Sturm, but I would smash it for game 5 there, Kinger. One more source of anxiety for me that I'll bring up.
Good.
And tell me,
we need it.
No, tell me if you guys felt the same. When Nathan MacKinnon took the puck to the nose, were you like, uh-oh, this is the year of the brother. There's a couple of things like that this year has been about. Jack Hughes, high stick, lost the teeth. Like, you kind of felt like, uh-oh, he's going to come back from this and he might have a moment. Like, this was going to happen again. And sure enough, he gets the empty netter to seal the deal. Like, did that cross your mind at all? Or was I the only one that thought, uh-oh, if he comes back from this, because do you agree, like, this year has kind of been about glorifying the hockey player, and the hockey player is blood on the windshield into, like, having a moment on the ice after. Like, that's what differentiates hockey from other athletes. So the moment I saw it, I was like, oh, no.
Oh, I can make you feel a little bit better. So when it happened, he was leaking. I mean, it was bad. And you didn't know if it was his teeth, ends up being his nose. Also, that shot of him on the bench is legendary, where he's trying to figure out how he feels. So he was not well, even when he got the goal at the end. But this will make you feel a little bit better. This is probably inappropriate, but it's great. The second after it happens,
laser.
So he's. I mean, it's really a bad thing. He takes a puck to the face. You don't wish that on anybody. Horrible freak play. Friendly fire, right? Didn't he just shot it into his face, right? The tase maybe.
Yeah.
And
Javon Taze.
Within 30 seconds, text from my brother. He just says, and that's why you wear a snorkel. And I was like, I can't, so I guess that's more hockey guy than even coming back. He just, I don't know if the guy's dying and he's just like, and that's why you wear a snorkel. I thought that was pretty good. But he's banged up. He was trying to figure out how to breathe. I mean, the face washes that are coming his way in game 5, I mean, you're rubbing it all over because that's a nose with a whole bunch of cartilage happening.
Yeah, and beat up. I thought, so I watched it, and it looked like right away, because we've been talking about how there's not a lot of joy in the body language of Nathan MacKinnon, and it looked like he was going to get up and maybe decapitate whoever shot that puck in his face, and then he like caught himself and calmed down on the ice and like gathered himself. Then he got up, and it looked like he looked at Taves and was like, it's okay. Like, we're okay.
He's a tough bastard.
He is, but it looked like
you could see.
It looked like the wires touched and he was going to get his own guy. And then he was like, we're good. We're good.
He was really processing, like, how bad is this? What is this? It's never good when you got the towel holder basically holding your pieces together until you can get off the ice. But he didn't even
towel hold, one on the back of the head, one on the front of the head. They're carrying you off the ice. You're like, that's it.
He did not look well on the bench either. I'm sure he'll be completely fine for the next game. But
I got to cut you off here. Hey, Joe, I know you got places to be here because you're still working full time. You've got a plane to catch because you're about to go get that
full time is a bit aggressive, Carts. But
game last night, podcast this morning, flight this afternoon, like morning skate tomorrow, game tomorrow night, flight back. Like,
I love it, man.
In Florida, so yeah,
I wouldn't change it.
I'd call it full time, but yeah. So we got to cut you loose so that you can catch that bird and make sure that that you get to eat while the food is hot.
Were you at the Kevin Hart roast? Joe, did you get invited?
I wish.
No, I thought they would have invited you. Oh, that's okay. Well, enjoy.
Any final thoughts? Gorgie left us with the fact that Volstead is a star in the making, and as long as he's still around, anything could happen. Stay in it. Any final thoughts from Radio Joe before you hit the bird?
Yeah, I'm a Boldy believer. He's under some heat today. Matt Boldy has a game 5 that shuts up all the Wild fans that are wondering where he's been.
Like it.
So hit the prize picks on Matt Boldy is what you're saying too.
If I was into that sort of thing or legally eligible for that sort of thing, yes.
I got you.
By the way, I loved the Danila Yurov goal last night. Loved it.
He's been great.
He threw in the clutch.
He's been great, hasn't he?
Has been. So the other, and I mentioned this on the radio broadcast, but Hines, John Hines talking to the national broadcasters about an hour and 15 minutes from puck drop last night. And he brought up Yurov, and he talked about how he has a lot of Eriksson-esque qualities about him from a defensive standpoint, detail standpoint, work ethic, like a mini Eck. That is something you want to hear if you're a Wild fan, as this kid continues to develop. And the other thing that John Hines has told us, Carts, and I'm pretty sure you were in there for one of these conversations, is like he expects him to get stronger this summer. I don't know if Yurov's going to stay in Minnesota to work out. If I was him, I would, but obviously I'm not Russian. I don't have my family in Russia, whatever. But if he works with this strength team this summer and has the type of summer that we've seen, some guys certainly have and take off after spending time with the strength team here and the training staff, getting stronger for Danilo Yurov is going to help him more in the faceoff circle and some other areas of his game, maybe explosive a little bit more in his skating stride. So working with Andy Ness, skills coach, Matt Harder and his staff, like it would be something you want to see. I mean, think about the leap Marco Rossi took for that breakout season. It was because he spent time in Minnesota in the summer and trained with this staff. So keep your eyes on Yurov moving forward, rest of this series and beyond. Like he's a really good two-way player, 200-foot player in the making. That's exciting to see. I agree with Gorg. Volstead is the man. Love it. I thought he played great last night. And I just think the Wild, this team with the Foligno brothers now trying to play for not only the ultimate prize in the Stanley Cup, but for themselves and their family and their late mom and their dad. Like, I just feel like there's such a good story there. Mm-hmm. And some of these guys that have been there and done that, Tarasenko, like it just feels like a special group. It feels like a group that to me
could do
with
this.
or without Eriksson-Ek. Yeah, with or without Brodin. I don't think they're going to go quietly. And I don't think any Wild fan should think that that's going to be the case.
And it feels like a team that can produce a special story. Like there are kind of like how Saturday's game, like it was written before the puck was dropped, like kind of how that game was going to go. Yeah. This team feels like a team where the special story is already written. We just got to live it out day by day. Now, who knows? Could go game 5 and I could be proven wrong. But you're right. It's the brothers. It's Faber Hughes. It's the Olympians having an all-world year. It's Yurov. It's without Eriksson-Ek. It's through adversity. It's going down 3-1 to Colorado, the President's Trophy, and ripping 3 off. Like they're going to have a special story. It feels like that. It feels like the kind of group that can produce that. So I think you're right.
Look, going into game 4 against Dallas, how disappointed everyone was. Double overtime loss in game 3. This core group, can't get it done. Another big game. They don't get it done. And then with 5-6 minutes left in that game 4, they tied it, right? Foligno scores. Boldy gets the overtime winner. series never the same. I was hoping for that moment last night, trying to get that series even. Didn't happen. Credit Colorado. But again, I think the Wild are going to come out, play a solid Game 5. We haven't had a 1-goal game yet in the series. We haven't had an overtime game yet in this series. I think Wednesday, it's going to be a nail biter. And I give the Wild a great chance to extend the series and bring it back for one more home game at least.
I like that you're already talking about Friday's game. That means you're manifesting it happening. Boom.
Hey,
I like it.
I told all the staff leaving last night, I said, I'll see you Friday. The elevator people in the press box, see you Friday. See you Friday. And that's not for exit meetings. That's for a goddamn hockey game.
Hey,
all right, go get it, Joe. Go get it, all right?
All right.
Cut that.
Boldy believer. Don't forget that. That's my call.
Boldy believer.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me as always. Godspeed.
Later, player. I do like the Euro stuff. I think there's some truth to that for sure. But we're not worried about the summer. We're not concerned about next year yet. But one caveat, if we do see a Yurov, like maybe we got to make this happen this afternoon somehow, a Yurov training video from Russia where he's flipping tires like Kirill Kaprizov in the rain barefoot for some reason.
Nothing
if that comes back, like, how good will you sleep the rest of the summer?
If Kirill hands him that baby goat and he holds it,
baby goat flipping tires.
There's somewhere by a river,
handstands or something.
I think whatever. It seems like Kirill has an interesting program over there, and maybe Yurov can do it there, or maybe he stays here like Joe wants him to. I really only have a couple things left. Carts. I want to talk about. So Hines' comments. It would seem on paper he's directing that to the top line, -2, no points. Matt Boldy's -3 last night. That could just plus minus is weird, right? So you never know what kind of situation.
2 empty netters.
Okay, and but it seems like that group. He wants his stars to play north-south. He wants his stars to play hard because you were getting it.
Yeah.
Relatively from the bottom 6. And
that's kind of the point I was making when I said DJ Hines might have to
mix in the bottom with the top.
Yeah, to be this is what we're doing. And I get that it's super hard, and there's a balancing act there of letting your guys play themselves into a game and sticking with it, letting them have their moment, because those guys have the talent to be able to flip it on and take over at any moment. So I think that, yeah, he had an opportunity there to maybe switch something up, but I think that's where we're kind of at in the playoffs. That it's okay, maybe it is time to mix things up mid-game, because Hines always does tell us that he has plans for mid-game. If things go wrong, he'll have changes that he's prepared to make.
And he does it.
Yeah, and he'll do it. I think that now it's getting to a spot, if Game 5 starts to look a little bit like Game 4 did, where they didn't have the forecheck, the simplicity, the North game, that you might have to give the big guys a straight, just pure North player that's hard and physical. The Marcus Foligno that drags you into the fight, if you will. I think Hines' comments were also directed at the fact that in a playoff series, it's hard because you don't want to throw shade. This is the other underlying truth in a playoff series. You can't hide or forever. The missing Eriksson Ek and Brodin and on the blue line, and Damon Hunt came in Game 3 and it was really good. And there are some issues in confidence and things on the blue line. And you can't cover it forever. It's starting to show up a little bit. And I think if you look at some of those goals, the Wild had opportunities to kind of make plays and to get the puck out of their zone and to live to fight another day there. And it wasn't made. And now, give those guys credit. They probably made those plays throughout the game because they were under duress the whole game. But the difference in a Brock Faber and your 560 man is the amount of times he's able to make that play, and so I think that showed up in Game 4 too, and I think that's what Hines is talking about. And you look at the minutes now. If I'm being candid and talking about the minutes, that's why the minutes are that way, because other guys weren't making plays, and it was okay.
Bogo's on one leg. It looks like he's banged up.
Yeah, and it's just, if you're not at 100% right now, and you're not at your absolute best, it will be exposed over a 7-game series. It just flat out will. And that's what's great about a 7-game series is you get to test everybody, their guts, what they've got. And in the end, that's why there's a handshake, because it's like I gave you what I got and it wasn't enough tonight, and but I think that the blue line is beat up, and I think that was one of the issues from Game 4.
Yeah, I agree. So let's manifest the mountain. Let's take our Nico Stir medicine, and if we're living 48 hours at a time on the podcast as well at the moment. So I'm going to give you 2 scenarios, Karts, and I want you to tell me what you think is the recipe for manifesting the mountain. Scenario 1, your stars are stars. You play north-south, and you win a game in Colorado handedly. You win by at least a couple goals, and you're just the better team. We've seen this, I guess, Game 1 in Dallas. We saw it in Colorado and against Colorado on Saturday night. Or the other scenario, which I don't think we've seen really at all. There's a game where we go to Colorado, and the Flying Felinos, the circus troupe that's coming into town. We leave town hated. Like Twitter is melting because it's a violent cage match. It's just a absolute just rumble. And we come out on the right side of the rumble. Maybe because we're mixing the sweaters and the leather jackets on lines. I don't know, like you said, but I'm trying to. In my heart, I feel like the winning recipe is go to Colorado, piss them off like you've never pissed off a hockey team, and win and come home. But the recipe seems to be one team just plays better than the other team and wins by a margin. Like Joe said, there hasn't been a 1-goal game. There hasn't been an overtime game. What do you think the recipe is? Is kind of this cage match, or play your style of hockey and just beat them?
It's been an interesting series and a fun one. So in the Dallas series, I never felt like Dallas was the superior team. And there was probably some comfort in that. Just over 7, I feel Wild are going to win this one. Dallas is a good team, but I've never felt that they're the better team. The Colorado series, I don't know that I felt that the Wild are comfortably the better team. There have been times where Colorado's the better team. Game 3, the Wild were the better team. Game 4, Colorado was the better team. So it's.
I think I know where this is going. Then.
Well, it's just less comforting a little bit. But part of that is because the Wild, they're not able to dictate terms against Colorado as well as they were against Dallas. And as much as I think they'd like to turn it into a hate fest, they're struggling to do so because Colorado's just not engaging. And that's where I think they had him in the Manson one, because Manson came in and tried to make an impact, and it almost showed that, there's kind of a crack in their belief in themselves a little bit. And they didn't stick with it. They didn't turn it into a bigger crack, a fissure, or something different. But I do think the only way, and it's not physicality then. If you're gonna generate hate, it's not through hit. You've got to grab the goggles on Nathan MacKinnon and snap them back. You've got to go at Nathan MacKinnon and just kind of be an antagonist and say, okay,
Amacar.
Yeah. And be that to them. It's not keep it between the whistles and try to hit these guys. It's take it to a different kind of level.
It's kind of like what Dallas was trying to do to us.
Yes. You almost have to Jamie Ben Matt Boldy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to go to the source, to the very center of that volcano, and it's Nathan MacKinnon. And you've got to push the buttons.
Lots of face washes.
Snap those goggles back, slap them with a flipper.
Put your finger at the end of the snorkel. And then he starts coughing. Hey, one thing we did see yesterday, did you notice the 4-on-4 shift?
Yeah.
I was like, this is real.
Yeah, it is.
This is our best power play.
Yeah.
Is 4-on-4 hockey. It's better than a power play. So I don't know if Hartsy's that crafty that he can do the take one with you. 2 times a game, because I'm telling you, man, I think we're the best 4-on-4 hockey team in the NHL. So I wouldn't mind a little extra room for 43 and 7 and 12 and 97.
Yeah, it's amazing how even against Nathan McKinnon, Natchez, Makar, Taves, whoever it is,
Different animal.
still a cheat code.
Yeah, different animal. They're more straight line guys. We got the Galloper. Makar's a lot like McDavid, only defensive. He's very like up in the play.
Hey, you know what else I want to get to? It's a long pause, and I don't know if I'm emotional today or what, but I'm kind of tired of let's just like the hashtag one of us a little bit. Like Brock Nelson kind of had his moment yesterday. Good player, great guy, but is there room for disdain amongst the hashtag one of us when they come into XL Energy Grand Casino Arena?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like it's a great story that. D-Man comes in from Lakeville and he gets a great chance at Brock Nelson's from War Road and Eric Johnson's from Bloomington. We don't have to just innately like those guys, or we can take it's okay to fight with your brother for a week or two, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not in our foxhole.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Eric Johnson, I will say. I think that's okay.
That's me too, but I think I need to be talked into it's okay to not like these guys.
I like this. If you're turning on Eric Johnson randomly in the playoffs, that's outstanding. In a weird way,
just in general.
I hear it all the time.
You can't give him a free pass.
It's the ultimate thing. It's the ultimate 10 o'clock news, local angle. Here anything. If someone could land on the moon. And they would say, and one of the people that drove them in the van to Cape Canaveral was from Bemidji. That would be the lead story, one of us. So, yeah, no one's on our team except for these 23.
Yeah.
And let's just be clear.
And no free passes.
No free passes. If you're going to do us, it doesn't make it feel better if that person has a Minnesota driver's license.
Right.
No, it's unacceptable. You're not a part of our club. Jake Ottinger was the weasel. I mean, we went, and he's a lovely guy by all accounts, a great guy, Olympian USA. But for that week or two, pop goes the weasel. We see you got room upstairs in the cage. So, yeah, we got to hate everyone. I completely agree with you. I do think it's time this is the narrative in the fans' head, Carts, on breaking the mold, because I can hear the voices in my head. You know what? Next year's our year. We built this year. We got through the first round. We have Quinn. We're going to add this piece in the summer, Austin Matthews or whatever the dream is. And next year's our real year, right? It's so hard to get where we are right now. We're in the final 8, right? This team has won 3 games in a row. And we're not talking about 2003 or the rearview mirror.
They just won 3 in a row against Dallas.
3 in a row. It's not the uniform that won 3 in a row. It's the team. This year's team has just done it. If you would have told me, are the Wild going to beat Dallas 3 games in a row to win the series? We would have said the same thing. Going to be tough sledding, right? But you know what you do when it's tough sledding, Carts? You pummel the powder.
You pummel the powder.
I like the full dirt, though, go after their stars. This guy's got a really sore nose.
This series hasn't had the hate that Dallas' series has. I think the Wild got to generate it.
Yeah, let's absolutely. I want a police escort leaving Colorado to the airport. I think that's a good recipe.
All right, let's do it.
We're here.
Till it's here.